All right, everybody, we are going to get started. First, I wanted to thank you for your time today. We appreciate it. We are going to take questions. I just wanted to get this out first is we'll take any questions you have, just drop them in the chat. We have a moderator that will be monitoring the chat, and we will answer the questions at the end of the webinar. So be sure to stick around and we will get to any and all questions at the end. So today, what we wanted to do was walk through the BriteCo appraisal system. And, we've had a lot of questions and folks want demos on a regular basis. And so we felt like we would just put together a webinar for you all and walk through the system and show you how easy and fast it actually is and comprehensive. So what I'll do is I'm going to jump right in, and again, drop questions in the chat if you have them as we go along, and we'll make sure to answer them. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and start walking you through an actual real live appraisal. So when you go to your portal, you just simply log in. And you will see this is all white labeled for you and for your store. So this is just all sample data, but this would be your dashboard when you log in, and it'll show you some basic things. It'll show you the most recent appraisals that you've done, things that are in progress that you're still working on, appraisals that are complete. There's a lot of detail here where you can see if you have multiple appraisers in your system or multiple stores. You can see who's doing what. And then there's some really handy filtering options. So if you just wanted to search for a specific customer or for a specific appraiser or dates, you can toggle by, you can search by all of those things. So if you did have a customer in your store and you wanted to pull up quickly all of their appraisals, you could simply just type their name in and it will pull up their appraisals historically that you've done for them. Also IDs, you can toggle through a bunch of different things here, and then you could pick up appraisals that you have started. You can just go in and start editing it. It'll bring you back to where you left off. You'll also notice that there are a couple different tabs here. This is if you would like to see all of them in progress, only your completed. And then we have a feature called inventory hold where you can actually load up appraisals and there's no customers attached to it yet. So you could go in later and actually add the customer information to complete that appraisal. You'll also see that there's a point calculator here that'll show you how many points that you've earned. We have a reward program. It's totally free where you get rewards for doing appraisals. So every time you do a completed appraisal, it will give you awards, and you can go into your reward section and get gift cards. We have deals with pretty much almost anybody you can imagine, whether it's Best Buy or Nordstrom, Starbucks, name it, we probably have it in our system. Just a really nice feature. And then the other thing we do is we also give you $15 for a completed application. So I'll show this later, but once you complete an appraisal, what will happen is that appraisal will automatically be sent to your customer via email from you. And then BriteCo will also offer a complimentary insurance quote to your customer. If they wanted to get insurance. If they didn't want it, they could just ignore it. But every time one of your customers completes an application, they don't even have to buy the policy. They just complete the application. They answer a couple questions. You make $15 every time that happens. So we pay all of our partners quarterly. So all of our partners get a check from BriteCo every quarter, which is nice, right? And so, not only is the system completely free, but we try to really create a win-win and give as much value back to you as we possibly can. Our goal is to make this, like I mentioned, a win-win and something that will really work for you and for your store, your employees, and ultimately for your customers. So this product is really a great product for you to streamline your appraisals and to make appraisals quick and easy, fast, also comprehensive, but it's also meant to just for you to be able to provide a really great service for your customers. There's some other options here. There's profile. You can edit your profile. You can add your title. You can add credentials. You can edit your user. You can also, if you're an admin, you can manage your organization and you can add other users. So you have full, you have full control over the system. We can also add other stores. So if you're a multi-location organization, you have 2 stores, 3 stores, 10 stores, whatever it might be. You can add all of those into your account. You can have different appraisers associated with different stores. So it's really, really comprehensive for you, and it's pretty flexible for what you would need. There's also a customer tab where you can go in and you can manage your customers if you need to make changes and things like that. You could do that right here. So really flexible and really easy to use. We also, we'll show you at the end, but we also load your logo and your store information. So the actual appraisal itself is fully white labeled for your store. Without further ado, I'm going to jump right in and start an appraisal to show you how easy and quick it is to actually do an appraisal in the system. Now, you'll notice throughout the flow that there's going to be a lot of optional fields, and there's going to be some mandatory fields. So any mandatory field is denoted with this red star. We have added a lot of features over the course of time based on user feedback, our jeweler partners. Everything we do in our system is based, for the most part, based on what our jewelers tell us that they want or need. We have independent appraisers that use the system as well. And so you'll see some fields in here and some drop downs that you might not necessarily use or need, and those will typically be optional fields. So to get started, you basically put your customer information in. I'm going to use myself as a sample. I'm already in the system, so I just can certainly type my name. This is all sample data, but once you put a customer information or customer into the system, it automatically saves it for you, so you can just certainly search and find that customer. Also, like I mentioned, if there's multiple stores, you can siphon through those stores however you want. Again, just sample data. If you wanted to denote a sales rep, you can put that in as well. If the customer wants to be updated via text message, you can select that. If you don't, if they don't, or if you don't want to, you can also just keep that unselected and it wouldn't send them a message. So we have 2 different types of appraisals. We have an insurance replacement value and we have a certificate of sale. I would say 99% of our stores use insurance replacement value. It's a replacement value. It's like anything else. If you're currently doing appraisals, it's probably what you're currently doing. Certificate of sale is just basically like how it sounds. It's essentially a document detailing that this was what was purchased, and the value on a certificate of sale is based on the purchase price, where the replacement value for insurance is actually based on how much it would cost to replace the item. So we generally recommend using insurance replacement value, but you don't have to. We work with some watch boutiques, some large brands that use certificate of sale, but pretty much all of our jewelers use replacement value. You'll also see a lot of our independent appraisers use this. Personally, I don't use this, but it's an optional field. You're certainly welcome to denote what tools you use to conduct the appraisal. And I'm going to go ahead. And once you get used to the system, I mean, you could legitimately fly through this. I'm talking like 5-minute appraisals. Obviously, I'm taking my time and walking you through it. But once, most of our jewelers, I mean, this process is super quick and super easy. So I'm going to do a relatively simple example for you today. We'll just do something, we'll do an engagement ring. You can see that we do a whole host of different things. You pretty much can do anything that you can think of for the most part in the system. It's very flexible in that way. But I will do a ring for the purposes of this demonstration. and it'll bring you to the specification page right after you select what item you're doing. And then it'll give you a selection of drop downs. So, you know, I'm going to do an engagement ring. I mean, if it's, you don't see your, I mean, this covers 99% of what you need, or you can select other and actually put in what you want. I'm just going to do something simple again, like a halo engagement ring. And again, this is optional, but sometimes I like to go, it's brand new. If you have inventory numbers that you like to denote, you can put in your inventory number. I would use this a lot. And then there's things that are just nice to have. So like ring size, like if you have the ring size, this is just another place where you can store it. And so if you ever needed to refer back and say like, oh, we need to figure out the ring size, it's right here for you. And then the other thing I should mention is this is totally cloud-based. So you can access the system from your phone, from an iPad, from your computer, from a laptop, pretty much name it, you can access the system from there, which is really nice. So if you're at home and you're communicating your text messaging with one of your clients and you need to quickly look up an appraisal, you can just log into your system from your phone or your home computer and pull up the information you need. Super handy. A lot of our customers love that because they don't have to be in their office at this one specific terminal in order to access their appraisals. Like those are days of old. This system is truly a modern appraisal system, and it's what everybody should be using. You know, we have over 3,000 stores signed up with us now. And people love it. If it's a new sale, you can certainly put in the purchase price. If not, you don't have to. You can just say no. If it's a custom piece, if it's an antique piece, and I'll show you, there's actually a calculator working for you behind the scenes here that is taking all of your inputs and is going to give you some handy pricing guidelines and information, which we'll get to later. But I kind of wanted to mention that just so you have some context in terms of what's actually happening behind the scenes here. If it's a branded piece, you know, you could select if it's David Yurman or Harry Winston, or if somebody brings a Van Cleef piece or something like that off the street that you're doing for a reappraisal, you can certainly select the brand. I'm going to leave that blank for now. And we'll just do a 14 karat white gold. If there was other metals, you simply can click on that plus, and you can add if it's you know, two-tone or tricolor, you can put in yellow gold and 18 karat, but I'm going to just leave it right now for 14 karat white gold. At any point along the journey, you can click save and exit. I'm going to show you. I'll save that there, but let's just say I have a customer walk in and I'm like, you know what, I got to walk away. You can literally just save and exit. It will save that appraisal exactly where you were. It'll be here in progress. You can click edit and it will bring you right back to the flow, and it will save your previous information. What you just saw me do, you can toggle previous to go back, and you can keep going. For the purposes of this, I'm just going to do something. Let's do a 2 karat natural. You can do lab grown in here as well. You know, some stores don't sell lab grown. We have a handful of stores that certainly do, so you have that option as well. It's a round, and I'm just going to make up some information. Let's just say it's a GSI 1. It's a GIA stone, and I will drop in the report number. And let's just say it's no fluorescence. Now, again, optional. So like you can go into as much detail as you want or as little. Also, if you don't have the exact weight of the stones, we have a calculator here, which is super, super handy. You just put in the length width or length width height. You can click calculate and it will automatically calculate the weight for you. Super, super handy. Polish symmetry treatment, all of those things that you can put in as well. We basically have all the options for you. So I added the center stone. I'm going to add some melee to this just to show you. Let's just say there's 15 melee stones equaling a quarter carat. Again, natural. Let's just stick with rounds for now. And let's say there's a range on these now. Let's just say it's GH, SI1, SI2. And that's kind of how you would do the range. Again, you can put in settings if there's other notes that you wanted to put. So like, let's just say there was something special about the center stone that wasn't captured in these fields. All you would do is just write like Tokowski, ideal cut center diamond, with excellent portions, ideal cut, or whatever you wanted. You could go into some editorial here if you wanted to. You certainly don't have to. And I'm going to continue. Images, super, super important. Our system makes it ridiculously easy to put in images. You do not have to fight with a Microsoft Word template to resize it and figure out ways to get your image into your document. Like this automatically does it for you. It's super easy. And now this isn't optional. You don't have to add photos, but we really, really recommend it. It's great for the client. It's really actually important to have a photo of the item on the appraisal. And also for replacement, if they do get the item insured, it's handy to have that photo. And we just generally recommend it. So I have some photos here ready to go. I'm just going to drop them in so you can see what it looks like. It also makes the final product, like the appraisal product, look really good. And so you can add a cover page, and you could also add documents to the end of the appraisal. So common things that people add would be GIA certificates. Like if you wanted to add, let's just say there was a 3 stone and all 3 stones had GIA certs. You could just click this and you could add the certs to the document. Same thing with cover page. I don't use cover pages really. I think the document looks great the way it is, but some folks do have like these cover pages that they'll add in, and that's fine too. And you can do that right here. The calculator. This is the summary page. So basically it shows all of the information you put in. If you can just review here. And if there's something you see that needs to be adjusted, or you forgot something, you need to change it, you can just click on the pencil icon to go back and make that change. If everything looks good, you can go ahead and get ready to finalize the appraisal. Something that's really, really amazing is we give you ranges and guidelines. Now you have full control over the final number here. You can change this to really whatever you need to change it to. We try to give you some values to give you some benchmarks. So we calculate the wholesale value and we give you suggested appraisal replacement value. Again, you can edit that. And then if you click on this handy little icon, it will actually show you the component breakdown and a wholesale markup. So it will calculate, here is your 2 carat GIA, it's about 19K, so on and so forth. There's pre-adjusted markups here based on national averages. You can adjust this. So if you only mark up your diamonds, let's say, or the whole piece, let's just say it's your best friend, you're going to give them a heck of a deal. Let's just say you're marking it up to 20. So it will adjust that for you and here. Or you can just fully override it and say, you know what, I sold it for 23. I'm going to appraise it for replacement of 25. And there you go. So I am going to actually go with the BriteCo suggested value. And I'm going to review it. You know what, I might want to actually preview this just to see what it looks like. Now, this PDF document is just a preview. Of course, this will have all of your logo, your information. This is coming from your store, so it's really fully white labeled for you. It'll have your customer information. It'll have all the detailed information you put in. This will be obviously your signature, your name, your credentials, etc. It will automatically drop the date in for you. And it's just a really beautifully styled document. You know, you could see the detailed summary. the notes we made. So it pulls in all the information and formats it for you. And then we have a really nice disclaimer that our attorneys worked on for you, probably the best disclaimer in the industry. And that is what it looks like. So you can check that out. And then once you're done, all you need to do is go ahead and click finalize. If you're doing another appraisal, so a lot of folks have multiple appraisals for the same person, all you have to do is click on finalize and add another. It will take you to the beginning. It'll finalize this one, so you're done. And then it'll take you back to the beginning where you will be able to start a new one. You will not have to put the customer information in. It will have already saved it because you're adding another for this customer. It just brings you right back in so you can keep cranking along. I am, for the purpose of this demo, I am just going to finalize this and I'm done. I earn my points, my reward points, and I can download the actual PDF, the final version of it. And what has also happened here, so once I finalize it, two things happen, like you mentioned before. That is the appraisals automatically emailed to the customer for me. So I don't have to go and upload it into an email, it will do it for me. And it'll do it for you. As the appraiser, it will send it from you, from your store. And then the other thing is BriteCo will send a complimentary insurance quote separate, and that's for BriteCo. And if they want insurance, it makes it super easy, super fast. They can click a button, get insurance. It's really one of the best insurance policies, if not the best insurance policy in the industry. Incredible pricing, comprehensive coverage. And then we do a bunch of things for you as the jeweler to make sure that we are completely aligned. So on a claim, we send all of the claimants back to you. Your customers stay with you, it's critical and that's really important. Something that for me was really annoying was when we were in a lot of the big carrier claim systems like State Farm and Allstate, and they had these preferred networks. And sometimes we would get actually other jewelers' customers they would send to us. And I was dumbfounded. I couldn't even believe it. And then sometimes our customers would get sent to preferred networks. We don't do any of that. That is wrong. We don't believe in that. Your customer goes back to you, and we want to make sure we're fully aligned and truly creating a win-win for you. This system has to work for you. And that's why we have over 3,000 stores signed up with us. And if you look at our reviews or ask any jeweler who uses our system, how they like it, they'll tell you, and we get really glowing reviews, how great the system is. It really does work very well. So that is a very quick high level of how the system works. I am happy to jump in and answer any questions. I'm actually going to pull in my director of marketing, who has been managing the chat, Dustin Sitar. Welcome, Dustin.
Hey, excited to be here. Yeah, I'd love to start we've got a couple questions in the chat regarding the insurance and the customer's obligation to buy it. Can you go a little more detail about how the insurance part of it works?
Certainly. So from the insurance, we get this question a lot. The insurance is super light touch. We basically we put out an insurance quote, like an offer, complimentary quote. There's no obligation at all to purchase anything. Most customers, at the very minimum, love just seeing the price. They just like getting that comparison. And a lot of folks end up buying the policy. We make it very quick, very fast, very easy. So you think about a 2-minute process, and think about what a millennial engagement ring purchaser really wants. They don't want to pick up the phone and have to call folks or try to do anything. They want a really streamlined, easy process. They want to walk out of your store knowing, look, I'm covered. That was super easy. If anything happens, I could just go back to my jeweler, to you, and get that replaced.
Okay, great. And then you mentioned how they get the quote, a couple questions wanting to clarify, like how they get the appraisal. I saw you download it. Do you email it to them then? Could you go over the process a little bit
Yeah.
more detail of how they get the appraisal and quote?
Yep, for sure. So once you finalize the appraisal, it will automatically send the appraisal, it'll automatically email the appraisal to the client. It will also automatically send a quote to the client, two separate communications, two separate emails. If they don't want the quote, they ignore it. And then also the email from the jeweler, has the actual appraisal attached to it. Now, a lot of folks like to email it and download a copy, and they like to present it when they come in. So we do have this download button. I showed you before, we were able to download the PDF. You can then open the PDF and you can print it. And the other thing too that's super handy is you can store that PDF locally too. So we have a bunch of stores that like everything lives in the cloud, but they also want it, they dump the PDFs into a folder. So they have them on a local computer as well.
Okay, great. And then let me see here. We got a few questions on some $100. People have seen some posts and Jay shared about $100.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So we're doing a promotion right now where we're literally giving $100 for the first 10 appraisals. So literally jumping into the system, doing 10 appraisals, we'll send you $100. You probably, folks were like, why or how are they doing that? It's because we know how strong the appraisal system is, and just jumping in and doing a handful of appraisals, we want to reward for that. It's the same reason why we give reward points and why we do the $15 referral fee. We want to provide as much value as we possibly can back to our jeweler partners. And again, if you were to ask any of our jeweler partners, I think every single one of them would attest and say, yeah, they're awesome and that they really do these types of things.
Great. And then I'm going to sort of roll, we've got a few in here that I'm combining into one question here. Some people are curious about like learning the system and how sort of BriteCo helps support that learning. That calls to mind for me, like the demos we do. So how long did it take to learn it, and how can BriteCo help train people on it?
Yeah, learning it is honestly really quick. Like, you just saw how straightforward the system is. It really details in like how you would think through the process of doing an appraisal. So the way the current appraisal is being done is like, we've just taken that and put it into like this easy process. With that being said, we're always here to help. So we do have a bunch of folks that reach out that say, hey, look, this is awesome. Can I just do a demo to make sure I totally understand? And we are happy to do demos, and we do them all the time, obviously. Also, we get reach out from folks that are like, hey, I love this. Can you train my sales staff? We do that all the time. So if you're thinking, hey, look, I want my sales staff to be trained on this, just reach out to us. You can find us, you can go directly to our website. You can get me directly on Facebook. I'm trying to be super active there. And you can email us, go to our website. We have a chat in the bottom of our website. Happy to communicate there as well.
Great. So I think that's about all the questions that I'm seeing in here, but certainly if anybody out there has questions that they weren't ready to ask here, comes to them later, you can use the same communication that Dustin just outlined there of reaching out on Facebook or emailing us. We're always here to help.
Yes, thank you. Everybody that has been here, really appreciate your time. We tried to make this quick and as painless as possible, but we also went through it pretty quickly. So as we talked about, if you want a personalized demo, please reach out to us. We're happy to do that, and happy appraising. Hope everybody has a good weekend.